administration is working to lower the cost of beef. The news is a welcome relief, as a recent survey found that 47% of Americans feel that groceries are harder to afford, at least compared to a year ago. This Nation's Alicia Nieves joining us now. Good morning, Alicia. Talk to me about how high these prices have gone for beef.
Yeah, Marcus brought in the good news. I bring in the bad news here, unfortunately. Listen, we were here about a month or so ago, and it seems like prices have unfortunately gone up even further. In fact, the cost of beef now is at another record high. So much so, beef has become one of the biggest drivers of grocery inflation. We found that the price of beef now is 11% higher than it was in January. And depending on the cut, that's even more. Ground beef, that's up nearly 13%. Steak, up around 12% since January. In terms of dollars and cents is how we all pay for things. In January, ground beef was $7.11 a pound. By August, that jumped to almost $8. Steak, that's also up around $1 more a pound. It's important to note that this is data from August because that's the most recent data available. With the government shutdown, the September CPI, where we get these numbers from, that's been delayed. Now, in terms of this promise to lower beef prices, the president hasn't said exactly what magic he is working, but here's what we have seen in the past during his administration and others. When gas price, for example, when that was up, historically the government utilizes strategic reserves to increase supply, match demand, but we don't really have a beef strategic reserve. Trust me, I looked into this, so that's unlikely. But earlier this year, we saw eggs, for example, that was averaging, I know you remember this, $12 a dozen. We saw the import of eggs as a result increase significantly. According to the USDA, we imported 10 times the amount of shell eggs at the beginning of 2025 to increase supply, better match the demand, and then level out prices here. So if I had to make an educated guess on what we could see, we're likely to see an increase in beef imports from countries like Brazil and Australia, but we really are going to have to see the tariffs come down or be removed, because the tariff for Australian beef, for example, that's up at 10%. For Brazil, 50%. All of that is getting passed on to the consumer, leading to these higher prices.
The American consumer.
Yes.
You mentioned beef, you mentioned eggs. What about other staples like bread and milk?
Yeah, this is where the picture gets a little bit more mixed. Some items are up, some staples, others are down, but overall grocery prices, they are still rising. Milk, for example, gallon in January was about $4. That's now up around $4.17. Every penny counts. Trust me, even I, and we do pretty well.
Yeah.
We feel it.
Well, you showed a good example. If beef was $7.11, now it's almost $8. That catches up as you go to the grocery store
And
every week.
This year, over 5 years, you're talking 40%.
Alicia Nieves, thank you so much. Up next.